What?
Yes. He's been doing that a lot.
Yes, man.
Yes.
Jesse.
Boom, boom.
Boom. Welcome back to the
Listen.
Boba Club.
Hey, we are back with another episode, just
episode,
for
man.
you. Listen, episode 158 coming to you
158,
live,
man.
Wow.
Listen, guys, this is the Producer Lounge. Thanks for joining us once again. Episode 158. We're going to talk about music production. Ready, go.
Go. Okay, so my
oh,
compressors,
shit. Oh,
hey,
saturators,
wait.
phasers. Oh, you said go.
I know, but I wanted to at least start with like Formant filters.
Formant filters, then
There we go.
compressor, saturators.
There we go.
Start with Formant filters.
No. Folks, we got worn in today.
Hello.
Oh, do we? Oh,
Oh, shit.
I was talking about other things being worn in, but
I was just in the neighborhood, just walking around.
yeah,
we were like, oh, wait, I think we know that guy who keeps walking around our house.
That's not a homeless man. That's worn in.
who keeps walking around inside of our house? Who is this man?
this man. I mean, he's got a chain, so he must be a local DJ at
Must be
least.
a
Must be
producer
a
and a
local
DJ.
DJ. No, not a. You can't guarantee producer, but you can guarantee
You can
a
guarantee
DJ.
DJ.
If they got a chain on and a side bag,
Ooh.
you
I mean,
know
you
they're
really
DJ.
know at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although,
No, they're a
18
DJ.
not with the side bag.
No side
No,
bag.
that's why it's still.
You haven't got one of those yet, right?
Yeah. It's coming in the mail, dude. Don't
Coming in the mail.
All right, all
Don't
right.
worry, dude.
Your little side bag
I
also
wouldn't
has a
doubt it.
gold chain.
Yeah. Also, dude, I feel like a fanny pack is a better move.
Fanny pack is the better move because nobody does it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
gay. And I like being gay.
Absolutely.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It's 2024. Get the fuck used to it.
Get with it. Get with it, guys.
I'm so
Why
gay.
are you sorry, bro?
Fanny
Dude,
packs are
don't be
in
sorry.
right now.
Yeah, dude,
You
I'm
shouldn't be sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be. Goddamn right.
Live your truest self, dog.
So, Formant filters.
Yeah.
Formant filters.
Love them.
I've been having a lot of fun with them, and I've been trying to use them unconventionally.
Oh?
Because you know the yo, you know, you got your,
Yes.
you know, typicals, which is sick, but it's fun to also create like a crazy fucking loud full spectrum sound and then throw it on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Reese, but it has like a Formant filter on top of it. Pretty fun. That's how I made a couple transition sounds in one of my newest tracks I'm working on, and I had them on randoms, like all the Formant shifting, so it's not like yow, you know, it's like and
A little more like primitive in their vocal cords.
right and
like-
really guttural, but like because it's full spectrum, when it opens, it's got less of a yoy kind of sound, and it's like it's like a really open mouth kind of timbre, which is super fun. Just using things unconventionally, including Formant filters, is a good time.
What do you use Formant filter wise?
The Serum Effects, the filter, it's got Formant 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
nice
yeah,
playing
yeah.
with those.
Formant 1 it's great. It's fucking it's like hits real nice. Because it gets the good yoy really easily. And then making your own, like the one that I got on another sound that's really fucking nice is literally just a notch that's at like, it's like at 800 or something, maybe it's like at 1,000 or 2,000. I can't remember
Maybe
exactly.
like a high Q.
The cue's changing. That's what's making the yow.
Like in
right,
Pro
right.
Q?
Mm-hmm.
Doing that, yeah.
And it's just sitting there fucking like opening and closing, and that's on a full spectrum sound that also then gets more full spectrum with more distortion. So it's blending it in, and it's got like this fucking super fucking weird fucking kind of shape to how it yoys.
Yeah,
Which is pretty fucking fun. Because I always liked those sounds back in the early teens, or early 20-teens, in the dubstep era. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like, but I always could enjoy when it was just like, yo, 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 I was like, oh, nice. Fucking, let's go.
Yo, yo,
Yeah,
yo.
it's fun. And then it
Yeah,
kind of got
yeah.
outplayed But now we're in such a like nostalgia compounds in art so much
We're
that
at
like
a meta.
yeah now there's
Right now, that's insane.
there's a meta that you can just
There's lore.
There is
Right,
lore.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
exactly
There's fucking
because there's
lore.
Formant lore.
you get to like reference these classic
Yeah.
timbres,
Timeless sounds.
right, and get to like it's the same thing with a stab with the landlord stab. Like everybody knows it, and if you use it right, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing.
One formant filter that's just like a default filter you can throw on anything that I absolutely hate for some reason.
Ooh.
I don't know what it is. And Kilohertz, I love everything else you've done, but their formant filter,
Yeah, I don't like it.
I hate it. I don't know what it is.
It's better, in my opinion, as a static kind of.
just chills.
No, yeah, like you don't try and even when you do automate it, you're not trying to get like a really yoy like trying to move a filter around a lot. It's more you're trying to add the right frequency into the sound to make it hit the mix just right. It's kind of like a convolution. You're using it to like hit the sweet spot so the sound sings or disappears just right. At least that's how I use it.
I can see that. Every time I have used it, I do kind of lean towards less movement on it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is with it. Like
Yeah,
it's also very resonant in certain spots. Maybe that's why I don't like it, but I don't know. It doesn't. It just all of it feels
Does it have
weird.
like a cutoff? I don't even think
I
I've.
I don't think
I
I
don't
pulled
reach
that
for
up.
formant filters often. So
I
I
don't
don't think
either.
I've used
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
I don't think there's a cutoff. It just has like an XY grid, and you're kind of just you get that and like a
all the
dry
vowels.
line.
I actually
and then
like
all
that.
The vowels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that thing.
Okay, that's actually like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I will
parameters
put a
in
lot of
these.
movement on that often.
Well,
not
no,
a
that's
lot.
it. There's not. There's like
Okay,
none.
That's one thing I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Kilohertz plugins
Or I
usually
have
don't
anyway.
have are pretty simple for
Right.
the most part. Like, but I
Which
do
is
love
nice.
Sometimes like with their like Transgate, you just put that on. Oh, okay.
Get in there, baby.
Yeah.
Get up in
It's
there.
also
Come on.
just facing up. Why is
Facing
that?
up?
I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Because Kyoto wanted it.
Did he do it
Oh.
that?
Yeah.
way?
I mean, it
That
was
is
like
wild.
this, and then I looked over, and it was switched.
Okay.
So I assumed he did it,
Hold,
but
hold
no
the
shade.
microphone like an ice cream cone.
Oh, I like just lick it.
And just talk at it from the...
What's up, everybody?
So- These are directional microphones.
Oh,
Right, make sure you're right in there.
Sorry.
You'll get some Kyoto
It will give
drips,
you
but-
more volume.
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, I
if
sound
you point
clear
it
now.
at
I
your-
know. Look at
I
that.
get the booming voice.
Yeah, and if
dude.
you turn, just turn around the top of the microphone.
dude,
There, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Formant filter in general it's interesting, but I feel like it's like when you go to a restaurant and they have like Mexican food, Greek food, American food, Japanese food,
yeah.
and ramen, and you're like, all right, well, none of this is going to be really good, but it's a really good selection, and it's probably all okay.
Okay, that's where you're going.
But
with it.
it's not like specialized enough to like it's not. The Formant filter has like every vowel and every combination of every vowel in it.
It's like going to Jack in the Box
Right,
too late.
it's
Where
like-
it's like there's too many things on the menu.
What is
and it's
going
not very
on?
good.
Like I can't.
Why do you have
find-
tacos and chicken sandwiches and curly fries mixed with
It's-
regular fries? What's happening?
It's too much.
it's too
Yeah.
much. Yeah, I understand that.
But it, like I said, in a static environment, you can get it to kind of goose a sound to have the timbre you need.
I could see
or
that.
I think it's pretty fucking cool.
Tone.
It has,
Yeah.
it just has a Q amount, and then it does have a cutoff. The cutoff is
Does
just,
it?
yeah, it's the where you have it in the space because it's the XY thing. So, you
Oh,
got,
so you're saying, like, that's
low
the
to high is
cutoff.
the cutoff, and then left to right or whatever is like
Right.
something else. I don't know. Like it does kind of do that. But
Shout out.
I think-
oh, hello, Shahela.
yeah, I think you can kind of goose it. But
yeah, it can
That's
be
fair.
goosed, and I'll check it every once in a while. But
Yeah, it's kind of rare for me as well, but I have had good luck with it
Right,
in the
right.
past.
I've been having more fun lately, just like making my own formant
my
filter.
my oing.
sure,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
yeah.
Shahida?
That's been the best. I spent like 2 years just using the 3 formant filters built into Serum, and those are amazing. Like they have it fucking dialed into all the vowels and harmonics you want to hit.
right.
But it's kind of fun just hitting like weird
right,
non-harmonically like together
squishies.
squishies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You can get some weird shit with it.
I like the comb filter a lot in Serum. The comb filter.
The comb. You've been pumped on that.
I've been pumped on it, especially for lead sounds. I like just how metallic it makes things sound.
Have you tried the reverb one? That one's been good.
The reverb one's nice too.
Yeah,
I really like that one too.
Both of them though, you kind of have to harness it in.
Yeah.
Because like the moment you put it on and then you start fucking with it, it's like
Yeah. You try to put an LFO on that bitch.
Well, yeah, don't do that.
No, it's so bad.
But
I
just
was like,
getting it sitting there and like goosing it from degree to degree until it's like, you're like, there it is. Nobody move. Fucking, it just randomly hit the frequency it needed to hit, and now the babe sings.
is there like a plugin that is specifically a comb filter? I feel like I haven't
KHS
seen.
comb.
Oh, they have a comb filter on that.
I use the shit out of that one.
Really,
That one I do love.
I gotta check that out. Honestly, I
That-
have all the kilohertz stuff. I just haven't.
Yeah, check it out.
used
It's super fun. It doesn't give you. It's not as gnarly of a tone the way that like the Serum comb produces it
Or shade.
or Shade.
Oh yeah, Shade's crazy.
Those ones are like so extreme. Honestly, kind of a lot of kilohertz's like extra features packs like the are kind
I
of
think
toned
everything is a little bit more. It takes some finesse to get it to do the same thing.
down, which is kind of nice. You don't always want something so extreme when you just throw it on.
I like their chorus because you can just throw it on and it gives it some nice width without it being
Yeah, the
extreme.
kilohertz, chorus is good.
Or ensemble.
Oh,
Ensemble.
Yeah, the ensemble.
Go
Well, I gotta use that
Ensemble.
one more.
Yeah, I got to too.
Their
Also-
3-band EQ is trash, but that's all right.
What's cool about the comb filter is it has that stereo option. I use that a lot for basses.
Oh.
Just
Oh,
yeah,
like
I mean-
a static comb with the stereo.
Their saturation has a stereo as well. And
Really?
it's
That's
so
right.
good.
Why have I
dude.
not used that?
I use that
Yeah.
one all the time now.
Sounds
I like forgot about it, and then I was using Faceplant, and I was like, oh yeah, and I did that, and it subs to mono super fucking nice. It works on transient-y things. It works on
Makes a lot of
really,
sense.
Yeah, it's super nice. Yeah, the distortion.
Yeah, that's a
width
good thing
is
to think
so
about.
nice on
I'm
that.
surprised they haven't put that in Ableton, like the saturator to have a,
Yeah.
a mono function would be really cool, or like to have something like that with the stereo.
Or to have a stereo function.
Yeah, to have a stereo function
Just
in it.
some
that'd be
kind
sick.
of width.
I mean,
option.
I do love the Ableton stock saturator. I'm a big fan, but
It really is nice.
it's great. I don't know. I haven't tried a ton of saturators, but that one just always works. Like I just put it on there and I'm like, all right, that worked.
Saturators usually work. That's why.
I've been playing a lot lately with putting it in parallel and just cranking the mix really hard. Like I watched a
Hell
video
yes.
of Nicky Nair breaking down a track, and he was just like, you could just see the drive was up at like 20 or like it was just so cranked, and he's just like messing with the mix knob, and it does add something to basses.
Oh,
This
I mean-
character's it's insane.
Distortion's crazy in the fact that like you'll get like immediate results at like low drive, and then it kind of flattens out in like the middle of the saturating, I guess. And then once you start getting towards the top end, it starts goosing in like different ways. It starts hitting different
Like
tonals.
lower volume things start hitting it.
Exactly. And it starts like singing in a different way. And you can get it to do the same thing just by adjusting the input, which is usually what I'll do. I'll try and like keep the drive pretty moderate so I don't have to have it cranked, and I'll just crank the input going into it. And if it's a really complicated saturator, then that'll have a different effect than just the drive, because the input into it, if it's trying to analog simulate, then it's going to have its own distortion from just the input.
Right.
And then you get all the other driveness that you can do.
Also, the Ableton saturator, which I didn't even realize has a digital clip function, which is I've been fucking with a lot lately. For some reason, I have a problem where I'll use a plugin for a while and not try all the buttons, and then eventually I'm like, why didn't I try that? Like it's been right there the whole time. I could have just clicked it real quick.
Us artists like getting stuck in our ways.
Yeah.
There's many answers to that question.
So many.
I mean, yeah, the artistry is all about the iterating of things and trying to figure it out. So it is just laziness for me. That's how I put
me
it
too.
for myself.
Yeah, for
and
me
I
too.
do it constantly.
You
But-
get a workflow that works for you, and then you just don't try new things.
There's
sometimes.
something to be said for like speed. And then there's something to be said for overcooking something. But there is a space where something is really, really nice, where it's been cooked enough. You know, you made the thing, maybe you make it fast, but then you really dig into all the little details. And I don't know. Sometimes you ruin it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes you do. Do you guys like to have a sound already made? Like, do you like the sound design and then write? Or do you like to have kind of like a half-baked sound and write and then fine-tune it later?
I don't worry about it.
You don't worry about it?
No, I write fully for the muse. I'll explain it.
That boy.
Kind
That's
of
it.
again, yeah. I just go in there and I just am like, I hope something cool happens today, and I just start. I'll usually start with drums. Obviously, that's
Me
usually
too,
kind of
yeah.
where I start, and then I just start flowing from there. And if I need a bass sound, I'll just start making one. And if something comes quick that like works in the moment, cool. And then if I feel like I need to replace it, then that'll happen. I try never to think about it too much.
You have a lot of
That
prep
is true.
things, though. You have like a bunch of presets that you've made,
Yes,
and
for
you
sure.
save presets and here and there. So you'll have something to jump off of.
Yeah. True.
Up.
Up.
Jump up.
You have a lot to
I've
jump
jumped in and
up.
drop up.
100% though. But
400%.
whoa.
Hey,
Whoa, hell yeah, dude.
Oh,
said
gang,
the magic
gang.
words, my dude.
But yeah, it's generally.
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 Damn.
Robert E. Lee.
Greatest
Throwback-
general ever. Just kidding.
throwback, dude.
It's fucking
No.
weak ass general. He
Weak
lost.
ass, dude. Motherfucker.
No, I try not to think about it. I try and just go. And then when it comes to decisions like that, where I'm like, oh, I need to make a bass line or make a bass sound, I'm usually trying to go for my gut. Like if I get stuck, I'll
Oh, you
listen-
sample your stomach, dude?
Dude.
if
That's
I
basically
I
what
get
your
my
sounds
best neuro
Your
bases,
sounds have
bro.
that vibe too.
that's your fucking
Well, my
sound.
stomach sounds like after a Taco Bell trip. Sample that
You
shit,
need a
dude.
muse, dude. You get a bunch of Taco Bell and just you record whatever your stomach's doing.
One way to do
And
it.
just figure out how to synthesize it. You're like, there we go, dude.
If I get stuck, there's options then, like I'll listen to other tracks for like just inspiration or whatever, and that'll usually send me down some weird path of making a sound, but I'm just like, I need a sound, and
Yes.
preferably it's a bass sound that I can use for a riff or whatever, but I don't have anything concept wise like in my brain. Like I'm not like, oh, I want it to be like this. I'm just going off the beat that I made, and it's usually like a halftime beat or a drum and bass beat, and that could be anything,
Yeah.
So I'll just like go until the sound starts coalescing, and then I just keep digging until finally a riff happens.
Well, and good drums will
Right. It
elicit
helps.
a lot of ideas. If you have
Right.
a great drum sound, like it forces you to just throw as many things at it as you can, and it just like gives you a good like. It would be weird to not.
It gives you
start with
scaffolding.
drums. Yeah, like
At least for me, because I'm a riff kind of guy.
me too. Yeah.
I don't want the kick drum, because the kick drum's going to be unique most of the time. Like,
So no kick at first.
no, I usually just have like hi-hats. Usually always
Attaboy.
I'll just start with hi-hats, and they'll just
You just need a
know.
metronome a little bit too.
right,
Yeah.
right. And
Get like
Without
a
just a
groove
click,
and a
just-
snare
right,
just without
right.
the.
Maybe I'll like the faux things I'll throw in, like something I just need a placeholder for are drums most of the time.
Yeah.
Those are the things where I'm just like, just get in here. I don't care. Just
I'll-
get in there, fucking fill up the space, make something kind of washy happening that I can fucking work around. And then once the character starts to appear, that's when it's time to like decide what else is happening. And usually whatever the main character is will tell me what needs to happen. Like, oh, I need more of this kind of snare. I need less of these hi-hats. I need a kick drum that barely hits ever or whatever.
Well, that's the great thing about genres in a sense is it gives you a roadmap to what to do.
True.
Like when I'm like, I want to make a Jersey Club song, the beat already, once you make the beat, it's already halfway there. Like in terms of like, okay, now I can write ideas based off of the rhythm of this. Like it's so much easier. I feel like every genre is like that too. As long as you have the thing that genre typically has, and you can always alter that later, but just having the basis of it, even if you just throw in like a drum and bass loop just right away. Like even if, and then you just start writing to that, and then make your own loop after that. Like you got to put yourself in the headspace somehow.
It's like a template
Yeah. Because
that you
most
just
genres
understand.
Yeah, most genres. I mean, most genres are created because of the beat. The beat is like the defining character of a lot of music. You know, where it's like
the rhythm and the tempo.
Yeah. As long as you get that, then you can start writing a lot easier.
Yeah, and then once you write a bunch of genre-based music, then you start living in between.
Oh,
Right.
And that's where the sauce is. Dude.
You're
Absolutely.
blending worlds.
In between genres.
Yes. But it is fun, but it is like it's helpful to just make genres exactly how they're supposed to be. Like I've been trying to figure out footwork lately. I'm just making the most generic footwork songs right now. Like I'm just figuring out like even just pulling it into MIDI and just like doing all the drums that way and not even like just doing it as simple as possible just to get the rhythm down.
Right.
It is helpful.
What do you think is helpful from just trying to learn a genre at its core foundation? What helps you as an artist from that?
Well, I just like it's like understanding the history of it in a weird way. Is like if you start from like the basics of it, like with something like footwork, the rhythms are really complicated, and I guess this extends to any genre too, but when you're trying to even figure out what rhythmically they're trying to do, I just try to go back to like, for footwork, I'm going back to like DJ Rashad, like the early guys, just to like, this is what it started as, so if I can just figure out how to do that, then I can try to innovate like other people are now, but like that basis of just like, what is the thing? And then you can kind of like play around with it later, but...
Right. Learn how to do it in the traditional way so you can break it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's what most
Learn the
people-
rules so you can break it.
Correct. Right. Which, that's 100% on point.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to start at the roots of something. Like if you want to start making house music, maybe don't listen to the newest house song. Start from the beginning and just figure it out. Like what's the most basic version of this thing?
What are the fundamentals?
Which is kind of funny, at least that brought to mind like Skrillex was, I don't know his like early career, what he was inspired by, but he definitely was trying to be a progressor and innovator in dubstep. And then now it seems like all the recent stuff he's releasing is going way back to the roots of like, he's doing like deep dub and like old school UKG inspired shit.
Did you see his most recent tweet?
No.
Oh,
He
I
said,
am Brostep.
I am Brostep.
Was that real? I
think
kept seeing that on TikTok and I was like, I don't
real.
That's
I think
amazing.
it's real, and we're about to get bombarded with
Yes, I'm so
some
ready.
2012 Skrillex.
Yeah,
I would
give us.
love that.
I
I would love it too. Yeah, give
dude.
us some fucking just ignorant heaters,
Classic.
please.
Yes,
Dude,
I'm tired
classic.
of rhythm. I want the 2012s back.
Oh,
For
Isn't
sure.
that crazy how that happens? When the 2012s were happening, everybody was like, God fucking damn it.
I
But now
know,
people are like,
I
hell
know,
yeah, dude, let's
I
let's
know.
go back, dude.
right,
That's-
right.
You know, it's always the grass is always greener, baby.
It's all, yeah, always.
Always greener.
Well, when you get something worse, no
Right.
offense to rhythm.
But
You gotta imagine he's been saving it up
Yeah.
because he knows he probably has a high bar for himself for what an actual release of that would look like.
Oh,
And he's like tickled it here and there. He'll throw one little bar or something every once in a while. I remember some release
right. Yeah, I remember that one.
a while back. It was like almost like a hyper pop tune or something like that. And
The
then
100
like
Gex
the
one?
end he
It might
hits
have been
like
the 100
a
Gex
very,
one.
very classic Skrillex
yeah,
moment.
that's the 100 Gex on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, because those 100
And
Gex
you're like,
dudes.
God damn it.
Right.
This is sick as fuck.
Right,
And then it goes
right.
away.
Well, and it's funny because like the hyperpop guys, like 100 Gex, those dudes are so inspired by like Skrillex and a lot of that like late 2000s, 2010 stuff, like the really ignorant shit. They're
Right.
like doubling down on it instead of like trying to be like,
Are
let's do
they
it with
the quintessential hyperpops?
Yes.
and 100
think
Gex
so.
for sure.
Yeah.
100
Hilarious.
Gex. I guess Sophie, people's, but
Yeah.
Sophie's not.
More the pop side than the hyper.
Right.
100 Gex put the hyper in hyper pop.
And Sophie's just fucking weird. Also,
Sophie's
like
wild as fuck.
they just didn't know how to categorize her, so we're like,
Yeah, it's
I'll
too-
just put her with these
It's too
people.
Bjork. That's what happens when you're too
It's like
fucking
Bjork Flume.
Yeah, when you're too wild, it's like you're good, but I don't know what the fuck's going on, Grimes. You know?
Oh,
I did enjoy Sophie's stuff. Like she did some production for some hip hop stuff like Vince Staples, and that shit's crazy.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Well,
yeah, like Yeah Right, that one song is fucking nuts. It's
Vince
wild.
Staples is the perfect guy for that. He's fucking wild.
Talking about a rapper that's like actually dived into a lot of electronic music genres, like there's that album Big Fish Theory that has like UKG on it. It has weird wonky kind of dubstep stuff on it, like super innovative. Some people haven't heard that record. You should check it out. It's very good.
Check it.
Shit.
Also, speaking of Grimes, fun little side note.
Are you gonna bring up what I think you're gonna bring up?
I think so. Yeah.
hope so.
If you know, yeah.
If not, I'll bring it up after you.
So EDC recently happened or is happening.
Here we go.
And Deadmau5 in classic fashion had to be his little shithead self and trolling anyone. So he has a really popular song he's been playing out forever called like Sometimes Things Get Complicated, or that's the vocal. Like I don't know the name of the song,
Why'd you
but
get so complicated?
not that.
No, it's not that one.
All right.
Sometimes things get complicated or something like that.
Okay.
And so he's through his set and he's playing like main stage, some giant stage, and he throws up a bunch of visuals of Grimes and plays that song.
And she's looking confused at
She's
the
looking
deck.
confused. She's like, "What's
Screaming.
happening? It's getting complicated."
Oh my god.
We need some DJ.
So
and-
his little just shit on Grimes moment.
You just made her look silly.
On top of that, it's not only the visuals of her playing her show.
Thank you. Oh, is that Mr. Cree?
Oh,
Mr. Cree for the 4
Hello.
months. Crazy.
Creepily.
Damn,
What's
nigga,
up,
the
boy?
1, 2, 3.
You the best.
best.
You the best.
So not only did he have like visuals of Grimes like being confused at her set and like screaming, but he also had the overlay of all the math like happening that you put to meme.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
To meme somebody having
Like
a
the
hard
Beautiful
time.
Mind?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the best thing ever. It's
so
so
good.
beautiful.
I need
Yeah.
to see this.
It's so good.
Dude, we needed new, like, honestly, DJ memes. We needed something. And Grimes, if
Good.
she's the one that's like,
Some people got to take a bullet.
absolutely.
And shout out to people like Deadmau5. He's literally, I feel like, the one and only person I've ever seen troll on main stage to like degrees like that, where he just shits on other artists,
Yeah,
but
'cause
like
he's an asshole.
because
Great.
he's an
Love
asshole.
it.
Yeah,
Because he's got that East Coast vibe, like that very just like,
He's
fuck
Canadian.
you. Is he Canadian?
he's Canadian.
Dude, really? Yeah. I thought he was from like New Jersey or something. That's crazy.
He does have like a punk, like fuck you, fuck the system mentality though.
Like if he was like an old punk guy, I would believe him honestly because he has that mentality, like that Henry Rollins kind of just like fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
somebody hurt him as a kid, you know?
yeah, yeah.
But he creates good art, so thanks for hurting him.
Yeah.
Not that it's acceptable. I'm just saying now that it's happened.
Yeah, I had to bring that up though. I love that you've seen
Yes,
it though.
I was
Yeah.
going to bring that up. I was like, speaking of fucking Deadmau5.
Nice, yeah.
Or speaking of
Grimes.
Grimes, yeah.
Yeah,
thank
it's
God.
amazing.
Yeah.
And he didn't even like get on the mic or anything.
No.
It was just he's letting it happen,
Yeah,
and then you could see
absolutely.
all the crowd was like, "Oh!"
and then he also caught at least one drone with a fishnet while he's on stage.
"Oh, what?"
He like
what the
grabbed
fuck?
it out of the sky and was like, held it up, like, yeah, I fucking got the drone. Fuck you,
go
I have your drone
jellyfishing,
now.
dude.
Yeah, hilarious.
Dude, a dream guest on the
Hilarious.
podcast, Mr. Deadmau5. What a fucking crazy person.
That'd
I just
be
like
wild.
I like just hearing him talk about stuff. Like he'll do just live streams where he's just shitting on stuff for hours.
Yeah,
It's so good
forever.
to watch.
He's very passionate.
He's very passionate.
Bareback boys.
I don't even know, sadly to say, I really don't know his music that well. I know the hits.
It's
a
very
couple of hits.
trancey.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a certain time period.
Yeah, it's all very well done.
Oh, yeah.
And like there's a couple songs that for me are iconic. But like I don't really want to go to a Deadmau5 show.
I don't either.
I could handle it if I had my babe, you know?
Yeah.
So I could like hang on to her and like dance with her. That'd be all right. But like I'm not gonna be there alone. There's nothing to do.
No.
It's just a kick drum.
Getting drunk with
And
the
I love kick drums, but it's like a really well processed, glossy kick drum that's like, where's the grit?
Yeah.
You know, it's just so well produced that I don't know. I mean, a lot of his more recent things have been a little more gritty, but it's just his like really popular shit is just so polished. It's
Yeah.
boring to me. It's
Well, I think that's an interesting kind of thing to bring up is that the switch between when EDM in the 2010s, everything was really clean and everything was trying to be as clean as possible. And then like kind of the lo-fi house movement and then like a bunch of other movement started where they were like, what if we didn't do that at all? Like, what if we made it as gritty and as like oversaturated and sound like everything just sounds fucking insane? You know, like,
Right.
like it is interesting, the kind of mentality. I mean, there's still a lot of EDM that's trying to do the most clean fucking thing they can, but like now I feel like people are using more grit in there. Like, just like, well, let's make it sound kind of fucking nuts. You know?
Well, I don't know. There's the grit, but the mixes are still super fucking clean.
Oh,
I feel like it's the thing we always talk. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
thank you,
we've talked
thank you.
about this for
He could barely
No,
get
no.
his headphones on. Like,
Oh, no, wait, I have thoughts on this.
yeah.
I feel like it's the thing we always talk about where
Cree just made a great point. I think it was media and money that showcased more clean content on main stage. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because it clean sells, you know? Clean.
yeah.
But I
mean,
Mainstream wise, like pop wise, yeah, you definitely want the cleaner persona.
but go ahead with what you were saying too. Sorry, I cut you up.
I just think I've noticed you always talk about a lot like, oh, I like the dirty nature of things. But a lot of times when you say that, you're talking about like a mixing standard. But like a lot of mixes are typically like very clean, but they're using like very dirty tones.
Oh, I guess it's not a mix as much as it is the feeling of it, or
yeah,
the
it
kind of
feels grimy and underground and like
Yeah, 'cause
rubs
it-
some dirt in it, kind of thing.
right. Like it doesn't sound like it's trying to be as clean as possible, and that not even just mix wise, but even just sound selection wise, and what the choices they're making is not something that you would play at EDC necessarily. Depending on, especially when we're talking about like ghetto tech or something, that's not something that they're not thinking like, dude, we're fucking playing right after Dead Mouse, like that shit. Like Party Boy 69 is not playing right after Dead Mouse, you know what I mean? Like that's a
Yeah, I
fucking
think-
different vibe.
There's definitely, at least for me, the elephant in the room in that discussion is the thought of like, at the time that you're talking about, we're talking about like 2008 to 2013, kind of where like even the trap at the time was like crystal clear. And I think that a lot of that, or at least, I mean, not all of it was that clean, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That was kind of the height of people getting mainstream popularity for their very clean sounding productions.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with the timing of making music in computers, because like for the last 20 years leading up to that point, people were just figuring out how to make it as clean as possible.
Yeah.
And then by the time they realized they had made it as clean as possible, they realized like, oh no, we need to make it dirty, because now it sounds so surgical that it
Yeah.
sounds so fucking weird and clinical and fake and synthetic that we need the grit. Like that's what was nice about 70s drums and shit, because it was like fucking dirty and tonal and kind of would peak a little bit, and like, but that's what physicalized the sound and made it give it girth when you crammed it in the fucking truck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it started like basically since like Flume started, everybody was like, oh, noise. Oh, we should put noise on things.
Yeah, like this is
Duh.
interesting.
And then you get the meme bass almost immediately, and you get like everything else.
The
with fucking
meme
white.
bass?
Yeah, the meme bass.
Noise bass, fuck
Oh,
bass.
yeah.
The fucky bass,
The
fucky
fucky
bass.
bass.
Yeah, it's the meme bass. It's literally sub note with white noise on it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like it's so dumb, but it works so well.
It's like in my mind the
great.
most ignorant sound.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
it's solely for the fact of one, we're pendulum swinging from the most clean hip hop from the 2000s we could possibly be, that we're just using the cleanest 808 drum machine ever. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Coupled with the fact that phones were now a thing.
Yeah.
And you needed to hear all this shit on a phone. So now all of a sudden you start introducing all these high counter frequencies to all the sub notes, so that people can hear that the sub is happening even though they have no sub response from their like 3-centimeter cone that's on their fucking
yeah.
phone.
But they can hear it when it's distorted as fuck. Though.
Right.
Like, I can hear that. You know?
Right.
But it's almost like instead of looking at the 2000s hip hop, it's like why don't, like if you look back at the Memphis hip hop that was happening, the early trap shit like 3-6 Mafia,
right?
It sounded insane. It's so fucking distorted and crazy
that's
sounding.
because it was coming off the back of the golden age, which was sampled hip hop.
Absolutely.
Which then everything was fine. It was the golden age, baby. It was fucking great. It wasn't until like the mid 2000s that everything started, even hip hop, even country music. Like you listen to Garth Brooks in 96 and then you listen to Garth Brooks in 2006, you're like, ew, it's all poppy. What the fuck? It's because everything got clinical as fuck. We were like, oh, we can
we figured out how to make everything perfect.
Yeah, in a digital box.
And so we did.
Everybody figured out how to make it perfect, so they did.
Yeah.
Right.
And it
then-
was great because
Yeah.
it was new.
Yeah.
It needed
and
to
then
happen.
It became stale, baby.
Yeah, it became stale so fast.
because we like fucking trees and shit.
Yeah, we like randomness.
We like things. Yeah, we
Shout
like
out trees.
Like it's like
shout
having
out.
every mountain like smooth. Like if you had a bunch of mountains and they were all smoothed over,
Right.
And they all looked like boulders instead of like having the shape of the mountain. Like if you just, it would be so sterile and so boring at a certain point that you need the grit.
Yeah.
You need everything to be fucking kind of strange looking and like every
Right.
formation's a bit different. You know.
Yeah,
It can't be a Euclidean world, man. Like,
Yeah. Man.
yeah.
you
There's
know,
curvatures.
you wouldn't be attracted to a Euclidean woman because she'd just be a straight line, dude.
We need that non-Euclidean geometry.
You want that
right.
wavy, non-Euclidean fucking.
Absolutely.
we like the curves, baby.
You like that. You like that.
So I was saying,
curvature.
Shaheladin says, dude, yes, the whole grit thing and flume, so fucking true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything kind
He
of
gets it.
changed
He
in the
gets it.
mid-teens,
Shahidon
Like-
gets it.
dude. Shaheladin.
Well, I'm sorry. The music history brain in my is like it takes over sometimes, but it's like I feel like Flume was also responding to guys like Flying Lotus and like Brain Feeder, where they were making really dirty hip hop shit. That was like
You think he was?
Well, he said in interviews that he was really inspired by Lotus.
That's
and
crazy.
Toki Monsta, like people that were doing more grittier hip hop stuff at the time.
I
which
didn't know that.
when
That
you
kind of
cool.
makes sense.
yeah,
It does make perfect sense. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I could go forever on this.
We do too, Shaheladin.
Oh, you just gave me an idea for the fucking lightning round. boy.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Hang on, I gotta
Flume went to
write this
Burning Man and discovered hip hop.
down. Yeah, exactly, crazy.
It's amazing.
Careers so funny.
Yeah,
so
and
funny.
I don't want to. I'm not saying Flume because he's necessarily the one who did it. I'm just saying Flume because he's the one everybody recognizes
Right.
at the time.
Kind of popularized.
Yeah,
it
he
in a way.
popularized the randomness
Capitalized.
on it. Yeah, yeah. But
I mean, Flume is the
What's-
goat.
He's very good.
Oh, yeah.
He's
who
very
is his
good.
partner in crime? Made
Oh, what's so not?
What's so not? Personally, I'm more of a what's
Still
so not.
a fucking yeah.
I'm more
what's so not?
What's so not's a
fucked
G
up.
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's the other half of Flume.
He
Um,
his collab with Skrillex and Choi Boy
It's so nasty.
is insane.
It's so
Oh, it's nasty as fuck.
and what is the fucking the Inner Bloom remix?
Yep.
That one is so
I
fucking
mean, fucking
sick.
Australians, you know?
Australians.
They fucking yeah. Oh no.
They're wild
Oh,
people
no.
over there. They're rebels.
Yeah,
You know,
fucking,
criminals,
to say
really.
the least. Yeah, absolute fucking heinous.
Well, they couldn't
criminals.
be further
Absolute
from the music industry
fucking
too. Like they're on the other
criminals.
side of the globe of the music industry, which is
Oh,
amazing.
no. Yeah,
like
they're
you get some weird shit coming out of there.
sure.
They like to party.
They're also
Oh,
on
yeah.
like the wrong hemisphere. Shout out Australia.
Shout out Australia.
Exactly.
Wrong.
Yeah. Northern, bro. They're on the southern. They fucking
Oh, here's an interesting question. How do you try to make your sounds grittier and not sound too clean? Like, what are the things that you do to avoid
well.
that?
In Bitwig, there's this fancy little tool called Bit 8.
Is it a bit crusher?
It has a bit crusher on it, but it also has a gate, and it also has a clipper, and it also has a noise generator. So it's got a bunch of different things built in, and they're all kind of in serial together, one after the other. So if you affect the bit crusher at the beginning, it changes what frequency everything else afterwards happens. So you can get it down to 2K where it's like, you know, and then everything else kind of follows that level of bit crush. But I'll usually not bit crush thing and leave it all the way at 100,000 hertz, so 100K, which means we can't hear anything. It's not really bit crushing at all. And then, you got your other little modules that just degrade the sound. And then
it's got a few different things.
RC20 for not the noise generator, but the detuning. I use that a lot.
The wow.
Yeah, I use that on percussion. I use that on
some percussion.
Yeah, son.
Damn.
You want your
I don't think
little
I've ever
fucking
done that.
Dude, pitch on percussion is
pitch
nice.
on percussion.
Random
is
pitch.
so nice. Just the subtle amount. Like we're not talking a whole step. We're talking just microtonals, but it's
Right.
so nice, especially when it's random, because then you don't have to think about it. You're not like being like, I should add slightly detuned snares.
This one's got to go up 20
Yeah, it's
cents.
like,
This one down 15.
Let the drummer go.
Right.
Give him a random and let the drummer go do his thing.
Yeah,
Trust
they're
him.
Hitting it at random volumes.
Trust him.
Yeah. Random velocities, I guess that would be.
Yeah.
Random
And-
Add
force.
some more randomness to it.
Then Shaper Box has
Shaper Box.
a noise boy on there.
Also,
and
Crush is nice on there.
Crush is also nice. That's the bit crush, but it does more than bit crush. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, that's it. Those are all great.
And resampling.
Resampling is great. If
That's
you want that
the most
gritty hip-hop-
honest. That's
if you
the
want
most
that-
honest
Yeah,
version.
algorithms at
Yeah.
that point are really nice.
Yeah,
That
algorithms are gonna be
audio,
the best.
That
Yeah.
gritty kind of hip hop sound, if you resample things
Correct.
a lot, it
That's
just
the
has
best.
a different. Well, and I feel like another thing that I've been playing with a lot is noise floor. Like I feel like if
Speaking my language right now.
dude, absolutely like having just things that are inconsistent in this, like having like a sample of a crowd where you just kind of like you just kind of like cut the high end out of it, or just like having noise, just weird things underneath. Like I've noticed that with like people like Ivy Lab a lot, where their shit is so noisy sounding.
We've been talking about this for years.
Absolutely, like it
The
doesn't.
noise floor is huge.
Yeah.
Because
True.
it like even for me, like if I
Unless you're John, he doesn't like it.
Yeah,
Oh.
he didn't.
Oh.
He
Put
didn't
him
know
on
what he's
blast.
missing.
He talks some shit on it on the podcast.
dude. Well, I feel like for me, if
Quick shit.
I write a loop and then I have even like just a hiss, it's at like, even if it's at -30 or like -25 or something, it adds something to it that like doesn't feel so static. And then like you add some crowd noises, you add some weird delays and some weird stuff, and it doesn't give it this like completely sterile
Right.
sound, which I
Right.
do enjoy.
I think there's twofold kind of psychosomatic things. Actually, let's call it threefold.
Oh.
The first one being, folks, look at this fucking entanglement of this man's headphones.
Don't worry about it.
I don't understand.
Don't worry about it.
Put him on blast.
Bro. You got to be careful.
I know.
You
I
like
know.
barely have enough room to reach your headphones with that. Not.
Aren't
You got
those
going.
new headphones?
Newer, yeah. I got them for Christmas, dude.
That's new, baby.
Let's
That's
go.
new.
First time chatter Carl's
Eh,
X3.
Oh, that's
It's
just spam. Yeah,
thanks for
spot.
the
Thank you so much.
thanks for the nudes,
Best viewers.
Ooh.
bro.
Viewers. Hey,
Send
the best
dudes.
viewers are
Send
here.
me
The
your
best
nudes.
viewers are
No,
here.
send dudes.
send dudes, not
I'm in a
nudes.
fight. I need men.
Yes.
No, it's a meme.
Naked men.
So twofold here when it comes to the noise floor. One, most of us grew up on records, basically, like or the radio, and both of those have a very loud noise floor. Being in between audible sounds, there is a floor of noise.
Yeah.
That it never goes fully digitally quiet.
Right.
That doesn't exist in analog. So there's that psychosomatic effect of just being like, it sounds better when it like falls to a certain depth and then stays there. It doesn't go to full blackness of just complete void of any movement of the air molecules by my ears.
Right.
I need some kind of little bit. Secondly, is something me and David discussed, and we're not scientists, but we like to say that this is true, that it helps the speakers projecting the audio out of them because they never fully come to a full resting position.
Right.
They're constantly in motion, and something that's in motion is easier to keep in motion than something that's not in motion. So there's less energy needing to be used to make it go to your fucking hit or your sub or whatever. Then if it's fully static, then it has to come from nothing to start moving. So there's, at least in my brain, that can result in
DC offset.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Pops and clips.
Yeah.
So having some kind of noise floor keeps the speaker cones primed and warmed up like an engine. Keeps them ready to fucking pump at any moment. I don't know if that's true, but
So I've actually
Makes sense to me.
been experimenting with the opposite
cool.
lately, and
Fun.
it's been a lot of fun in certain instances.
That's the nice thing also
Yeah.
about keeping a noise floor is because when you take it away, it's really apparent.
It's
really
absolutely
apparent. Yeah.
apparent.
And all you really need is like a fucking eighth note, and it's like the air just got sucked out of the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
fucking room. Like what the fuck?
And
Well,
you're like, I was in a weird different dimension for a sec. What
Right.
just happened?
That kind of like having the natural against the unnatural is really interesting too. It's just like you're like, here's something natural sounding like, because I mean, just living in the world, everything sounds. There's never a moment of real silence if
Right.
you're living in just anywhere doing anything.
Right.
So
right.
then, like, once you drop it out and then it's just unnatural, that gives a weird kind of
right, it's the
effect.
contrast.
Yeah, it's great a contrast.
So the way I've been doing it, it's not even to the degree of like a full eighth note or even 16. It's like after your bass sound hits or your percussion hits, right before your kick or snare comes in, you just take out like a little chunk. Like
Okay,
maybe
so-
5
Okay.
milliseconds to 20 milliseconds, like
I
just a little bit,
technically
maybe a
already-
little bit longer.
technically
honestly.
already do that.
That's really short, but
True.
having enough where you can like, you wouldn't be thinking about it when you're listening through, but like after you do the edits and you're thinking about listening to it, you hear it just drop out, and then the transients of the next thing just punch so much harder,
Right.
because there isn't any sort of just subtle vibration of the cone. Like the cone does fully fucking abruptly, like physically, like weirdly stop, and then it just fucking pushes another transient.
Right.
Like it adds, I don't know, it's adding something that
I mean,
I'm
that's
enjoying
one way
lately.
to break some speakers for sure. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense for the kind of music that you make in like a lot of left field music, is because there is a lot of unnatural sounds in there. Really playing with the natural and unnatural is really interesting because it's already kind of like fucking with your brain. So then if you play with that even harder, people are like, they don't know maybe consciously what's happening, but it sounds fucking insane. Like you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, because you want to make it more alien. You just keep doing stuff like that.
100%, right? Just weird psychological warfare embedded into your music.
Dude, left field music is like psychological warfare.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, why do I like this?
Also, something I want to reel it back just a little bit to the noise floor thing. So I've been playing with it, and I'm trying to figure out the balance, but implementing John's idea of the ring mod flutter from something, I've been doing that into the noise floors. So the noise floor, like whatever your little thing, it just fucking annihilates for a sec when your kick comes in earlier or something.
Or sub.
Or sub,
Put that shit on the hi-hats.
Yeah,
every time
and
I
the
have-
hi-hats have been so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I do that shit almost religiously now.
Yeah.
I've calmed it down a lot from like 6 songs ago. Because if you listen to like a song of mine from 6, you're like, wow, every kick drum, every sub hit,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
like, it's just out of control.
Oh, it's just like whenever you
but-
get a new toy, you overplay it way too much. Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
way too.
You're
you have to-
learning.
Yeah.
You're learning
Yeah.
how to use
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I've been doing it like grouped with some EQing and then on like a certain wetness, like a low wetness. It's just like my little flavor added to the thing. And often it is kind of like a noisy layer
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
getting it. Anything that's
I
kind of
think-
high end.
Yeah,
noisy.
like an
I
effect
think-
sweep or
I think
impact kind of thing.
Physically, that makes the most sense
Yeah.
in my brain to have anything that's more of a noisy or kind of a either farther away, quieter, or more high-end sound is going to be more affected physically by the really big vibrations that are trying to come through the speaker cone. So it makes sense.
You're gonna
in
hear
that
it.
fact.
You hear it so fast. I've been doing it with just a audio rate modulator in Bitwig on just the volume.
Yep,
knob,
that's how I do it too.
on like a utility volume essentially.
But you
And
can like link that to the note.
Yep.
That's what the audio rate would be.
The audio rate
picks
you-
up the MIDI.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
sidechained
Well,
to
yeah,
whatever channel you want it
It
to
picks
be
up whatever the
sidechained to.
audio coming out of that channel is, and it just
Fucking
modulates
It just
it via that.
sick.
modulates based on exactly what it is. And you can change. You can like make it at 50% or whatever.
Yeah, you
Half
can
the
tinker.
speed. No wait, maybe not.
You
doesn't
can
actually
tinker
make
in
sense.
some way.
There's a little bit of tinkering to be.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was just. This is a random thought, but almost the side chaining effect, like if you utilize it in noise floors and stuff like that, adds to the unnaturalness of it. Like if
Right,
you're like
like in his
ducking
track.
things out, yeah,
Right,
like it starts
right.
being like, what's
Well,
happening?
that's the play on like the physical, because your brain is like, oh, it's physical right now. Wait a minute, that wasn't physical. What the fuck just happened?
Right,
like the reality broke.
Right.
Like what the fuck?
You create some like weird warp bubble black hole where
Right.
it just pulls fucking
Right, no
existence
sound
for a sec.
happens, and there's just this sine wave that goes pew.
yeah.
That we call a kick drum.
Which
You're like,
in
what the
a
fuck?
venue on giant speakers and
Oh.
it pulls the entire room,
Right.
like it can be really cool.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why we
I
all
When
feel
there's
feel
a lot of air to move, it's really fucking neat.
yeah.
When I hate to bring these guys up because they suck really bad, but like
Noisia?
Daft Punk.
Oh, even worse.
yeah,
Daft
fucking
Punk.
horrible.
Ew.
But
They got me too'd hard.
fucking Daft Punk. But like, I think
Daft
that is
Punk.
like one thing that's really interesting about their production is the
R.I.P.
same kind of thing as like. All right, yeah, wait. It took me a sec. Is like again balancing because they are sampling so heavily from 70s and 80s records, but then having the side chain and like having the unnatural and the natural, like it makes it modern and it makes it more like
Totally.
it gives it a way different feeling than listening to that same sample. Like if you're same with like Justice does it really well
Right,
too, and like
right.
songs like Genesis where you have this like kind of like weird, almost like war sounding sample, and then you just like you sidechain and add all this weird shit to it, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is so fucking unnatural and crazy, and it just like fucks with your brain so much, you know?
Right, and it's not only the audio manipulation techniques; it's also the theory that they're placing on these certain moments too, where they're playing a certain chord progression that's nostalgic of like 80s-ness, and then it also sounds aesthetically 80s, but then they add all those like very modern cutouts or synthetic kind of moments, and you're like, now I'm super confused
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
what's going on in this track, which like that's fun.
It is fun.
I like being confused symbolically and like aesthetically in a track.
Yeah.
Like that's a good time when an artist can like take two totally different vibes and just be like, look how I combined these things. And you're
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
crazy. Like that shit's super fun.
Actually, I just had a really fun idea that I don't think has been done, and if it has, fucking
Shit.
hit me up and show me a track that has done that because I'd love to hear it. So the way I've been doing all of the like the flutter basses is it's tuned. The noise is tuned to the harmonic of the sub, and if you're doing the audio rate, it's tuned to whatever the pitching is. So what if you instead built like a chord out of it? So you're doing the flutter to the fifth of it.
Be careful, you might decouple from the earth.
Oh yeah, that's when you.
Gotta be
You might
careful of that.
ascend to another plane
Yeah,
of
be
existence,
careful.
dude.
Doing
Be
a fifth
careful.
is fun.
Yeah,
Have you
I
done
like
that?
the idea of that.
I like the
Yeah.
idea of that too.
I've
absolutely.
done it at like half an octave down, or I mean like an octave or two down.
right.
Yeah, so I've done the octave versions, right?
Octave works really nice.
I haven't done like a
Doing it
harmony
like
version
yeah,
though.
an octave down is really fucking nice.
Yeah.
From like sub.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
It
because you get the
really
slow.
fucking just flutters.
Yeah.
I was fucking around on the grid in Bitwig, shout out.
Shout out Grid.
And you can like truly FM, like frequency modulate, not phase modulate what's in Serum and Phase Plant. Like I can true for frequency modulate in there to the point where if you frequency modulate, like if the modulator is like several octaves below the carrier, it's the funniest, just wow, 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 wow. It just is a binary code of going on and off because the wave is so
It
fucking
just sounds
slow.
like Dig Dug or something.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so much fun, and if you can if you automate that shit, it makes some crazy ass weird tones. It kind of sounds too simple to really use.
Yeah.
But it's super fun to laugh at.
Yeah.
It's like, so this is a goofy ass fucking sound.
Dude, when I was first learning how to try and do squishy sound design, that was the entire goal is FM from super ridiculously low octaves because then you get the weird poppy shit.
Yeah.
And then I eventually learned how to make it not sound like shit and do that.
Right.
But yeah, that was the only way I could do it.
You always got to make it sound like shit first. That's always the best.
And then you can make it sound like really cool sounding shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn it, I keep hitting this fucking pole today.
The more you know.
I've been hitting my nose on the mic just
yeah.
Folks,
hell yeah.
you know what that sound means.
Oh.
Yeah, they
No,
do,
that's
of
not
course.
the sound for that.
There we go.
There it is. It's the end of the show.
Wow.
That's fucking right.
Damn.
And that sound means we have questions from the internet.
Oh,
All right, let's
Absolutely.
check them out.
Twitter coming in.
Austin, do you want to read this question? I don't understand. Are the top two questions or the bottom question?
Not the bottom. The bottom was notes from the pod.
I see. We got.
Supposedly it's Twitter coming in. So
Right. I just wanted to
Be
know
my
where
guess.
you got the. You mean you compile them?
Supposedly.
We get at least, folks. We get at least
Supposedly.
3,000 questions off Twitter per episode.
yeah, we have to cipher through
And Austin over here has to cycle it down to 2 to 3.
Right.
live on the air.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Hold
you
the
would be
conversation.
surprised based on the quality of the questions. But these are the top questions.
That's beside the point.
From
Yeah, that just
those
shows how lame
Man.
our fan base is.
yeah. So there's a lot of just what's your favorite auto tune?
Right. I don't use autotune.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
We're not answering that question.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you.
We got a question from Flum Flum.
Flum Flum.
Are flume snares overrated or underrated?
What the fuck?
Definitely underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
underrated.
Underrated.
Weird,
His snares are insane.
weird
Sure. I'll
pitched
say underrated.
snares are
Yeah.
underrated.
I think they're probably rated perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
I think everybody loves his snares.
Well, he-
Don't get mad at the guy who asked us on Twitter, dude.
Yeah,
Flum
Flum
Flum.
is just asking,
Flum
dude.
Flum Flum didn't do
I
it.
I
feel
mean,
like
it
in
has
2000
such a fucking close name to Flume that you got to know he's riding that guy's dick.
right.
You know? So, whatever.
Well,
He
dude,
really
I-
wants to know.
I feel like, during the 2010s,
right
he
away,
wasn't doing,
Flum.
He wasn't doing the snares that are like,
Right,
the fucking dubstep snare. So, hell yeah, dude. That's underrated. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, also sampled that for your snare, everybody.
Yes.
The noise you made was insane.
We got a question from, this is a big one. Something Different Festival Management. The management of Something Different Festival has reached out.
Let's go.
right.
Shout out
Something different
MGNT.
coming up.
It is coming up. Our boy Restraint's on the lineup.
Absolutely.
And our boy and former guest Gallium's on the
Yeah.
lineup.
Also,
And Nyquist.
And Nyquist. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So many big fucking
Homies.
boys.
Yeah.
Also,
Some of the
former
homies.
guest Limp Bizkit.
That's not true.
Okay.
Definitely not.
They ask,
Would love that, though.
are Bit Crushers overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Underrated.
for sure.
So overrated.
I know Austin.
Austin
I knew what
hates
Austin was
Bit
going to
Crushers.
say.
I
Love
hate
Bit
'em.
Crushers.
Everyone rides the dick of bit crushers like Flum Flum with
He
Flume.
collected the question and he collected that one for a very specific reason.
to
Absolutely
shit
just
on
shit on
him.
Because he hates them, but
there's so many
jokes on him, majority.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I'm the
Absolutely.
outlier. I'm the black
Lou,
sheep.
you lost.
I lost, dude.
Man. Accept defeat.
You
They
did
just
good.
suck.
You did good.
Great job, everybody.
Bit Crushers are, it's give and take.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying you don't like screwdrivers, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tool.
I mean, I don't like
Oh, you don't
screwdrivers. I
like
like
screwdrivers.
drills. Come on. 2024 AT.
More of a white Russian kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn.
Shaheladdin knows. He says undie.
Undie.
No, he just prefers
Hell yeah.
undies. He likes
Undies.
underwear over
Wait,
all
boxers
of the...
or briefs, Mr. Shaheladdin?
Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs for sure.
Yeah, all day.
Tidy whities. Come on. Let's be
You.
real.
Whitey's.
What are you, 5 and or 60?
Or Walter White. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
that fucking vibe. Yeah.
So
Briefs. Let's go.
briefs, attaboy. Let's go over a quick rundown of what we learned today,
All right.
folks.
Oh, what did we learn?
We talked about Formants.
That was a good part.
We talked about
Segment.
the Muse. Shout out Muse.
That never comes up.
We talked about writing different genres and like how to learn them and such like that.
Yep.
We talked about dead mouse trolling. Pretty good time.
Yep. Yep.
Clean versus dirty. That was kind of a trending theme through the rest half of the episode here. We talked about Flume and his grittiness. Talked about noise floors, contrast. And we talked about Daft Bunk.
Daft Bunk. Yeah.
And then we talked about some frequency modulation. It was a good episode.
It was a good
It
episode.
was.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on the pod, even though it was kind of last minute there.
Absolutely.
Warren. We appreciate
Shout out
you.
to Warren. This is like his 9th episode or something with us.
I don't
Something huge.
remember. I don't remember.
Something like that.
If you saw our Instagram post, folks, sorry Flo couldn't make it today. We're going to try and get him back on the pod here soon.
He will be back.
Shout out Flo. How can people find you on the internet, Warren? What's your SoundCloud? User 09 something 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 something
Yeah.
something something?
It's worn in, and I have a couple of songs on my SoundCloud.
It'll be tagged in the description.
And there's some fun things happening in the future that I
Let's go.
can't talk about.
No,
go.
I feel. Can
No,
we not?
I don't think I can talk about it.
Can't talk.
Really?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think you can.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, there's some stuff.
Hey, that's
He
a
got
fun
signed
thing.
to Ausla. I'm saying it. I'm sorry.
What the
Cat's out of the
fuck,
bag.
dude?
I know.
Shit, folks.
They'll understand.
All right, guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
tuning
so much.
in. Shaheladin, thanks for swinging back by, dude. It's good to see you.
Oh, creepily.
And then Creasy, thanks for
Throwing
the
Absolutely.
sub.
Thank you.
We love you, Crease. We're going to get
Love
you
you,
over
Cree.
here soon, and you can hang out. Shaheladin, if you live in the Colorado area, then maybe you too.
I wonder if Cree can teach me that. Bet you he can.
Probably not with the outro bumper that loud.